Alright, folks, gather round. Let's talk about a dog that's so high energy, you'll need to be running marathons just to keep up. Meet the Australian cattle dog, or as I like to call them, the tiny tornadoes of the dog world. They're the dogs that will herd your whole life into submission without even breaking a sweat. Want a dog that makes you feel like you're living in a full-on action movie every time you leave the house? Well, then the Australian cattle dog is the one for you. Now, most of you have heard of these dogs. You know, the ones that look like they've been living in the outback, herding cattle, and maybe, just maybe, dreaming of a career in law enforcement. I mean, these dogs are tough, they're smart, and they're always on the move. They're like the canine equivalent of a freight train you don't want to get in their way. But they're also loyal, loving, and if you can keep up with their pace, you'll have yourself the best friend you could ask for. So, let's take a deep dive into the world of the Australian cattle dog, and I'll give you everything you need to know about these amazing little bundles of energy. 1. The look. Don't let the size fool you. Let's start with the basics. What do they actually look like? Well, first off, you're not looking at a big dog here. They're compact, muscular, and honestly, they look like they could take down a bear if they wanted to. They're about 17 to 20 inches tall, and they weigh in at around 30 to 50 pounds, small enough to fit on your couch, but tough enough to take on anything that comes their way. The coat. Now, let's talk about that coat. It's like nature decided to make a dog that could survive in the harshest of conditions. The Australian cattle dog has a short, dense coat that's meant to protect them from the hot sun, the cold wind, and, I don't know, maybe a herd of angry kangaroos. They come in a couple of color patterns, usually blue or red, with that signature speckled look. It's like someone decided to make a dog that's always in camouflage. Not that they're hiding, but you could definitely lose them in a pile of laundry if you're not paying attention. The eyes. And those eyes, let me tell you, they've got eyes that could read your soul. You ever meet a dog that looks at you like it's analyzing you for weaknesses? The Australian cattle dog is that dog. They're always on the lookout for something. I'm convinced these dogs can sense your mood from a mile away. If you're happy, they're happy. If you're annoyed, they're probably going to try to herd you into a corner and make you feel better. It's honestly incredible how much they can communicate with a single look. 2. The energy. It's like having a hyperactive toddler on Red Bull. Look, if you want a dog that's going to curl up next to you on the couch and do nothing all day, then you should probably start looking at sloths or stone statues. The Australian cattle dog is not that dog. These guys have energy to burn. We're talking about a breed that was designed to work, and by work I mean they could run for hours, herd cattle for miles, and still have enough energy to destroy your furniture. These dogs are constantly moving, and if you don't give them a job to do, they'll find their own. You'll walk into the living room one day and find them pushing your coffee table across the floor, like they're getting ready for a speed herding competition. High energy needs. Imagine if you gave your toddler a set of car keys, and then just let them loose in a parking lot. Now, imagine that with your dog. These dogs don't just walk, they run, they sprint, and they will make sure you're running right behind them. If you think you're just going for a casual walk, think again. You're about to embark on a marathon that your legs won't be able to handle. These dogs are all about active work. If you've got a lot of land to run on, you'll have a happy cattle dog. If you've got a small apartment, you might need to reconsider your life choices. Mental energy. Here's the kicker. It's not just their physical energy. These dogs are mentally sharp. I mean, you've never seen a dog that's more ready to solve puzzles than the Australian cattle dog. You don't even need a toy to entertain them, just show them a door that's cracked open, and watch them figure out how to get inside. Don't even think about leaving them in the yard without supervision because they'll outsmart the gate. And they're always ready to work. When you're out walking them, expect them to constantly scan the environment like they're on a mission. They're borderline obsessed with having a purpose, and if they don't have one, you might end up with a dog that's constantly trying to organize your life. 3. The intelligence. Too smart for their own good. So, I've already mentioned that the Australian cattle dog is highly intelligent, but let me tell you, it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you've got a dog that can be trained to do amazing things like fetch the paper, open the door, or even drive your car. Okay, maybe not the last one, but you get my point. But on the other hand, you've got a dog that's so smart it will outwit you at every turn. Training. Training the Australian cattle dog isn't exactly a walk in the park. They're quick learners, but they're also independent thinkers. It's like trying to teach a toddler who thinks they know everything how to tie their shoes. You're going to have to be firm, consistent, and always stay one step ahead of them. They'll learn the commands, but they'll do it on their own time, and they'll probably add a few creative twists along the way. And let's not forget that these dogs were bred to be highly alert, which means they're always watching and learning from their surroundings. You'll teach them to sit, but the next thing you know, they're sitting in front of the fridge, waiting for their next meal like they've just invented the concept of begging. These dogs can read the room better than most people. 4. The health. Strong and tough, but not invincible. Now, let's talk about health. The Australian cattle dog is a sturdy dog. This breed is built for the long haul. They're active, they're tough, and they've got the kind of stamina that would make a marathoner jealous. But like any dog, they're not immune to health issues. Common health issues. While they're generally healthy dogs, Australian cattle dogs can be prone to het dysplasia, progressive retinal atrophy, and deafness. Deafness is a big one in this breed, so be prepared to work with them on hand signals or other methods of communication. They'll still be the same smart, energetic dog, just with a bit of a twist. But overall, with good care, these dogs can live anywhere from 12 to 15 years. 5. The grooming. Minimal, but don't skip it. Now, let's talk grooming. Australian cattle dogs have a short, thick coat, and while it's not a full-time job to keep them clean, they're not completely low maintenance either. They shed year-round, so expect to sweep up after them on a regular basis. Luckily, a quick brush once a week will help keep the shedding under control. But don't get lazy. This dog is working 24/7, so if you're not giving them the attention they need, they might just start chewing your shoes out of frustration. 6. Is the Australian cattle dog right for you? So, you're thinking about getting an Australian cattle dog, huh? Well, let me tell you, if you're up for a dog that will keep you on your toes, challenge your mind, and turn your life into a non-stop adventure, then this might just be the dog for you. But if you're looking for a lazy lapdog that will quietly nap by your side, then you might want to go with something else. This breed is for the active, the adventurous, and the committed. You've got to be ready to give them a job, or at the very least, a daily workout. They're not going to slow down, and if you can't keep up, you might find yourself getting left behind. But if you're up for the challenge, you'll have a loyal, intelligent, and energized companion who will be by your side, ready to take on whatever life throws your way. And let's face it, folks, who doesn't want a dog that thinks they're a superhero?